Oh, Shiva just took her pills, and it reminds me that the Red Cross has agreed, well, after their 100 days held hostage, to give the Israeli hostages their pills. In return, but we have to give something back. They can't just be kind because, well, it's the Red Cross. Israel has to give, to allow medication to come into Gaza. And the point is that the presentation in the media and in this horrible show trial in South Africa is such a distorted view. Like the Palestinians, the only reason they're so poor and don't have anything is because Hamas steals everything they have. So if you give them medication, Hamas will take it and probably sell it on the black market for I don't know what. They're a bunch of thieves, rapists, murderers who are running the show. And to actually present them as a side in an international court of law is absolutely disgusting, and it made my stomach turn. So South Africa, the reason they support the terror organization is because of the sentimental connection between Nelson Mandela, who, yes, he's a figure of African liberation, but what did he liberate his people to? A corrupt African regime that, okay, maybe the Africans are no longer discriminated against as in apartheid regime, but I understand there's no electricity most of the time. They steal things, they are corrupt, and they have to distract by supporting their old buddies, the Palestinian terrorists. Yeah, wonderful people who kidnapped Olympic athletes in Munich and mutilated their bodies and murdered them. These are their heroes, yes. These are the heroes of the South African regime. Yasser Arafat is their hero, a person who gives a command to kidnap athletes in an Olympic event in Germany, mutilate their bodies and murder them. That is like this is the heroes. These are the heroes of South Africa. So what do you expect? And they actually present a distorted picture, of course. And the only persons to blame for the poverty and a lack of medication in Gaza are the billionaires who run the show. They live in Qatar and 5-star hotels. Meanwhile, their people are starving. And then they say, oh, the people are starving. Israel is starving. No, Israel is not starving them. Israel is not starving them. Israel is fighting murderers, rapists, baby beheaders, and trying to get the people that are held hostage in Gaza released. And why is it not that simple? Gaza is not such a large piece of land. It's because they built a whole tunnel system with the money that UN, EU, and maybe some of the viewers, people feel sorry for them and they give money. And now the Red Cross has conditioned giving medical help for hostages on giving medical help to Hamas, basically, who are going to do whatever they want with the medication. Right, Shiva? Anyway, I'm really happy Shiva is in this side of the border, because I don't know what the dogs on the other side of the border do. I've seen soldiers that rescue dogs from Gaza, but, it's weird that nobody wants to rescue the people of Gaza. Not one Arab country wants them. Canada says they'll take them. Scotland says they'll take them. Well, they say it. But why doesn't any Arab country want them, including Qatar? The explanation to that is very simple. They don't want terror supporters because they want a nice country where people don't explode. Oops, sorry. Oops, she's sneezing. She's not having a seizure. She's just rolling on the floor, right, Shiva? You're silly, Willie. You are such a silly dog. Anyway, I wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom. And if you want any explanations, Carolyn Glick has a wonderful show. I'll put the link. And she explains a lot of things in a very calm, rational, factual way. What's going on? Why South Africa supports terrorists? Because South Africa's foundations, their founding fathers, are terrorists. They used to put bombs in markets And though, yes, a lot of countries have gotten liberation through all kinds of horrible actions, Nelson Mandela's first friend was Yasser Arafat. His first visit was Yasser Arafat, the man. Well, I remember I used to be scared. My mom, she used to go to the marketplace in Tel Aviv, Carmel Market. I would be afraid that she would be killed in a bomb attack. There were so many bomb attacks thanks to him. This is their heroes, people who target civilians. These are their heroes, people who target babies and women. And so South African regime isn't that friendly. They have the most rapes in the world. They're the rape capital of the world. So of course they're going to support Hamas. Rapists, baby beheaders, that's their friends. Birds of a feather flock together. And it's supposed to be an international court of law. And you're going to tell Israel not to defend itself? America, UK, I think Holland as well, are bombing Yemen because, of course, when it comes to money, like the ships can't carry. The Middle East is a path from Asia to Europe to US. So when Yemen is bombing the ships carrying goods, they're actually harming the marketing, the merchandise, the business. So now America woke up to bomb them, right? The Yemenite Houthi terrorists are bombing ships, so they're attacking them now. Why am I saying this? Just saying that nobody's going to tell them why you're bombing poor Yemenites. And Yemen has like people really starving. There have been reports that there are babies that are dying of malnutrition, but yet they have money for weapon. This is what terrorists do. They don't have money. They don't have food. They don't have medication, but they have money for long-range missiles and rockets and all sorts of weapons. And those terror tunnels they build in Gaza, wow, I mean, it's like an underground city. And that's what they've been doing since Israel left and gave them full authority. And this is what's happening in South Africa since the white colonial, not to compare, because I don't think the Israelis are white colonial. We're not white colonial force. Jews are not considered white. We're not colonial. We don't represent an empire of any sort. Yeah, contrary to what you think, I'm not an American. I just spent some years there, formative years. But I am not an American. I don't have another citizenship. A lot of Israelis, this is our only home. It really is. And it's kind of sick that whenever people leave a country, like the same thing happened, I think, so when the whites left South Africa, it turned into criminal state because it's a corrupt regime and the people are greedy and it's not a democracy really. And now they have to distract by doing this show trial. And a lot of Jews have left South Africa, I know, and they should, because it's a horrible, corrupt regime. And it's too bad because you would think the Jews and Africans have a lot in common, being enslaved and all that in Egypt, as we were, and the Africans being enslaved and traded by Arabs. Yes, those were the slave traders. And now those hypocrites are sitting there in their rape capital country and blaming Israel for crimes they commit themselves. That is really crazy. They support the very people that stole them from their homes and traded them. They stole babies, children, women, and men and sold them to America, to England, to all kinds of places to be slaves. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible trauma for African Americans that this is their heritage. And yet these people in South Africa cooperate with the same people who traded in slaves and enslaved African people. It shows you how aware they are, who their friends are, because Martin Luther King was marching alongside rabbis, not alongside Muslim leaders at all, when he was leading the civil rights movement. And yet, the memory of some African people is very short, but I know that a lot of African people do support Israel. And of course, we have our wonderful Ethiopian community, Jews that were loyal to Judaism, even though they had to face very, very hostile conditions. They are the best people ever. They're very loyal. They're very they're very committed to being Jews in Israel, and they're not looking to emigrate to anywhere else most of the time. Except there was one case of a woman, and she's running for Congress, who married an American guy she met at university. But most Ethiopian Jews, they're very big Zionists. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Peace, light, and love. And inform yourself find out what the facts are.